how am I going to do an afternoon examination when my mind is so drained of energy? Now be careful. If you really looked at your minds before examinations, many of you would see the same problem. You'd be up late at night studying, worrying, haven't slept well. How on earth can you perform to a high level of success with such a tired brain? But of course, I knew how to solve that problem. I just kept the brain still, not worrying, not thinking of the past or the future, just being here. And I've used that technique ever since. Whenever I travel around the world giving lots and lots of talks, and sometimes I'm not sleeping at nights because of air travel, sometimes always, you want to get a rest, but somebody knocks on your door, big problems. So sometimes you are tired and you have to perform. But I know how to keep my mind very still. And in that stillness, energy comes back into your brain. It only took half an hour of meditation every lunch hour. But when I rose up from my seat, my brain was full of energy. My body was relaxed. And I only got this from my friends after the examination was finished, after the 6 days. Because they noticed, and this is what they told me, that I was the only student in that whole course that went into the exam room with a smile on their face. They thought I was cheating. In a sense I was, because I had an examination technique which the other kids never had. I knew how to relax and re-energize in a very short space of time. And of course, that's why I did extremely well. I was saying to somebody in their vehicle as we came up here, look, you've done all the work, you've read the books, you've attended the lectures, you've done the studies, it's in your brain somewhere. The point now is to get it out in the right order, in a clear fashion, on the examination paper. That's your task next week. So how are you going to do that? Stop stuffing more information or techniques into your head. Relax. And learn how to relax efficiently. That's excellent examination technique. A tiny bit of meditation, a tiny bit of letting go, just as what I've said. Before the examination, please don't think about the paper coming up in an hour's time. Stop worrying. Now is the only time you can do anything about your future. Now. Make this moment peaceful, energized, positive, and you find your brain is ready to do the paper. When the paper is finished, forget about it. It's done. You can't change anything now. And this is one of the great stories about how to be positive about whatever happens as a result of that paper you've done. It helps you let go of the past. Even if you think you've really stuffed up and done a bad paper, it does not matter. There's an old Buddhist story about the king who went hunting. One day, a king went hunting in the forest. And as he was out hunting, he cut his finger. There was a doctor in the entourage. And he called the doctor to him and said, I've cut my finger. Is it going to be okay? And the doctor looked at it and said, good, bad, who knows? It's a really strange thing for a doctor to say. But nevertheless, the doctor put a band-aid on it and said, I'll look at it when we get back. And so after the day's hunting, he got back to the palace, and by this time the wound was infected. So the king called the doctor to him again and said, look at my finger, it's infected. Is it okay? And the doctor took off the band-aid. Good, bad, who knows? But he put some ointment on and bandaged it up. And so the king went away. In 3 days' time, that wound was so badly infected that the doctor had to amputate the digit, take the finger off. Imagine what the king felt. You stupid doctor. All this good, bad, who knows business. I'm going to throw you in jail. So he threw the poor doctor in prison. And he threw him in prison personally. He locked the door of the cell and said, what do you think about that then, you stupid doctor? You know what the doctor replied? Good, bad, who knows? That was really a stupid doctor, thought the king. So about a few weeks later, when the wound was healed, the king who loved his hunting went off into the forest again, hunting. But this time, the king, chasing some animal or whatever, lost the rest of the party. He got lost in the jungle. And wandering around the jungle alone, he got captured by the indigenous forest people. They captured him. And they took him to the priest, and just happened to be one of the big holidays, and they wanted to do a human sacrifice. And here was the gift, the king to be sacrificed. So the poor king was in big trouble. And as they started the ceremony, and the priest did all of the mumbo-jumbo, then they got to the time of killing the king. It was only then the priest noticed the king only had 9 fingers. He was not perfect enough for their God. So they let him go. The fact that he'd lost 1 finger had actually saved his life. So as soon as he got back to the palace, he realized, my goodness, I thought that doctor was stupid. In fact, he was so wise. So he went straight to the prison, straight to the cell, and he opened the door himself and said, I'm so sorry I put you in jail. You saved my life. If it wasn't for you, I'd have been killed. I've done a terrible thing. It was a bad thing I did, putting you in prison. As he let the doctor out, and the doctor said, what do you mean a bad thing? Didn't I tell you when you put me in jail, good, bad, who knows? Look, if you had not put me in prison, I would have been with you when you were captured. I've got my 10 fingers. So it was a good thing I was in jail. Now the moral of that story is, good, bad, who knows? So in your life, you try your very best. Don't be lazy. Whatever you do in life, try your very best. But you pass, you fail. Is that good? Is that bad? Answer? Exactly. Now when you have a mind like that, you tend to succeed much more than if you are so desperate for success. One of the reasons why people fail, and they fail not just in academia, but in sport and in life in general, is because they're so afraid of failure. And that's why they fail. They're so afraid they may not succeed. That's why they keep stuffing up. If you have this attitude, good, bad, who knows? When you can take life as it comes, when you can make use of whatever life gives you, then you're a person who will always succeed. In academia and in life. So this is how we use a positive attitude to life. Already I told you examination technique to learn how to rest. Makes you, and the only way you can rest is having an attitude, good, bad, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in your life? You all know people like Steve Jobs, failed university. Albert Einstein, kicked out of university. Dell, the founder of Dell Computing, he never finished his degree either. Now, I'm not encouraging any of you to do this. I'm just saying, good, bad, who knows? So when you have that beautiful positive attitude towards life, actually you succeed more. You still put the work in, you put the hours in, you try your very best. But because it's got this wonderful attitude of not worrying, you succeed more. It's worry which kills you. So understanding something like that, you understand how to have a positive attitude. It's something which I've noticed in my life, 59 years now. It is the happy people are the ones who are successful in life. It's really weird, but the people who've come to my meditation retreats in Perth, who are already very successful, they're the ones who have good meditation as well. It seems that every aspect of their life is good. And I thought, are these people somehow just blessed? Whatever they do in life, they succeed. Or is there something which is common, which creates success in all areas of their endeavour? And of course there is. There's that positive attitude towards life. If you have a positive attitude towards life, you have a great time with relationships. You have a great time at university with your academic success. And you have a great time in life when you leave here. Just that positive attitude. It's not just a can-do. It's to say, well, if I fail, is what we call, and I got this from a business forum, it's what we call positive failure. Not negative failure, but positive failure. What do we mean by positive failure? Even you're taking away this negativity. Failure is terrible, what am I going to do next? No. Learn how to, whenever you do fail, fail positively. In other words, this is a huge input of experience for you. Make use of it. Stop getting all negative, because you will find later on in your business, on your academic career, if you are averse to taking those risks because you're so afraid you might fail, you will never have any success in life. Boys and girls at this university, you're not just interested in a degree. You're interested, in that girl sitting over there, which you've noticed. She's interested in that beautiful hunky boy over there in the back. How are you going to be successful in your relationships? Because being at university is not just about study. You're young people, you've got a life outside of university. And you try and integrate those two together. And if you can, you'll be successful both in your studies and in your social life as well, which is important. So, I remember this, going out with girls. When I saw a girl, sometimes you were afraid of going up to her and asking her out. Why was that? Because I was so afraid of failure? Now, don't be afraid. Go up and ask her. If you do fail, forward failure, debrief yourself afterwards. What did I do wrong? What did I say? Until you get the hang of it. And when you get the hang of it, because of lots of experience, then it's easy. The same with the girls. How to attract the boys. Yeah, you maybe flop a few times in your relationship, but unless you try, how on earth will you ever learn? And that's just what you learn at university. The idea of positive or forward failing. And you try that later on in your life outside this university, or you do some research. If you're doing any research, if you're going to make something out of your academic career, you've got to go as, I remember this because somebody reminded me of Star Trek. This was a series of TV shows and movies afterwards. And they used to have this saying, to go where no one has ever gone before. Now that's really important in academia. That could be like a motto of a university. Because if you really are going to break new ground, you have to go where no one has ever gone before. And to be able to do that, you have to have this wonderful sense of risk-taking. To be able to allow yourself to fail, because if it doesn't work, good, bad, who knows? And so much of successful people in life are people who know to take, obviously not too many risks, but to have wise risk-taking, but still are courageous enough to try those risks and to experiment with things which no one's done before. Now this is really important for a country like Singapore. R&D, innovation. A university such as NUS should not just be teaching people how to pass examinations. Should not be just teaching people just how to repeat and know what other people have already found out, but to innovate, to find out new ways of looking and doing things. You notice the United States economy, the only reason why it's just keeping its head above water, and the only reason why it survived many other previous economic crises, was the huge amount of innovation, especially in IT. Why all those great IT companies were based in US? Because they were allowed to take risks. They were encouraged to take risks. And even at university, one of the first things I learned at Cambridge was if I had an idea, your professors and lecturers say, do it, give it a try. Even if it was a stupid idea. Because they were encouraging that risk-taking. One of the great things about universities in those days, shows how positive they were, and hopefully there's a few lecturers and staff here. One of the great things there, they were telling me, the